go get them again.
Welcome back to the Robezoe channel. I'm your host, Mark, and on the docket today we have an unboxing first impression video on the brand of Creed. It's been a while on the channel on the brand of Creed, and this is, of course, as you can see, Viking Cologne. Now, I spoke about Viking. Actually, I dug it from its grave of the YouTube fragrance community. I don't know, some influencers were pissed that they just got little samples from Creed as their PR piece because they sent out a lot of decants, less so bottles. Bottles were for the big boys. But this thing got panned like crazy within the community, and I could see why as an influencer. If I smelt this and I was like, this is probably not going to be for everybody, so I'm probably going to go on one side of the fence. Now, obviously, there's not much unboxing here. Fragflex sent this to me for decanting. No cap, no box. It was actually in bubble wrap. It was in a big bubble wrap ball. Thanks, Fragflex, by the way. That was fun. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a dent in it. So we'll see. I don't know if it was the user used quite a bit, honestly. It wasn't lost in transit to me. It did not smell at all. This atomizer, they had a sticker on top of it. I'm surprised it didn't spray at all, but they did their thing. So yeah, this thing got dogged. Actually, Viking, if you see here, that's a big dent for a guy that has 3,000 to 4,000 fragrance bottles in his collection, and a fragrance reviewer that actually wears fragrances that he reviews. A lot of reviewers use this method, and they'll wear, you know, what they want. No, the best test is on skin. So unfortunately with that, it means basically I'm really ignoring these guys back here for my own personal enjoyment. I'm dedicated to my craft, and things like this get put onto my skin. I'm not too worried about Viking Cologne. Worst case, this thing's gonna be a boring Creed that's not worth the money, basically. Creed for me, I haven't met one that I'm like, ooh, I don't think I remember one that I went, ooh, not really good. There's some that I think are not worth it. Obviously, that's more, more than the norm lately. So yeah, let's see what Viking Cologne is all about. Obviously, there was a Ventus Cologne. They were doing the things that niche brands are not supposed to do. Is the big faux pas, but now it's in the trends. Niche brands are more designer-ish than you would think. Amouage is doing it. Creed is doing it. So we'll see what we can do here with the cologne vibe. The Ventus Cologne was meh. It was okay. Like, I was like, and I'm trying to go in my Rolodex. I'm thinking, you could correct me. Any diehard Robezoe channel enthusiast, if you can call me out, go ahead. But I felt like Ventus Cologne was, I think, more like it was more designer-ish. I didn't like it. Ventus in itself is a designer fragrance, personally. I never felt the sparkle with Ventus personally. Never did. I got 2 bottles right now of it, and none of them, you know, trying to get different batches, things like that. No, I'm not getting the sparkle that I get with Millésime Impérial Virgin Island Water, Green Irish Tweed. They have that je ne sais quoi, the 90s and 80s Creed. I like those. So let's get into this cologne version. And despite the name of it, this is not in Eau de Cologne or an EDC version. This is EDP like the rest of the gang. So let's get into it. Before we get into anything, of course, have you subscribed yet? If you're a fan of unboxings, I got you. But no, things are gonna change up. If you are new to the channel, you're like, this guy does a lot of unboxings, first impressions, not a fan. This happens on my channel. I am not here as a business. So my channel will get sometimes redundant. I am going to do things that I personally want to do, or I'm having fun with. On this Fragflex haul, I'm trying to decant, so there's a lot of bottles. There's probably another 20-ish or so, and then we're done. Then I'll get back to sampling samples. So I do sampling. I'll do test drives with, I test out a fragrance for a week or so. And this I'm just powering through every day. Boom, boom, boom. I am a monster right now with the unboxings. As much as some people are panning me and saying too many unboxings, I'm not getting any applause here every day. Just kidding. So if that seems like a review for you, subscribe, smash that like button. I really appreciate, especially like a popular, not anymore, late to the party, Mark. Everybody's reviewing the brand new Creeds. Yeah, these kind of fragrances do get a lot more traffic than some of the things I've been unboxing lately. Much appreciated. Merci beaucoup. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown of Viking Cologne. And I want to see what the differences are. This is not a differences video. If I throw it out there and I do compare them, sure. Viking, even though I've put it in a dent, I'm still limited in regards to what I think about the fragrance. If you know me and you know my full-fledged reviews, you know the testing I do. So looking at the note breakdown, there's a little changes here and there. I do see a lot of greens here. And I remember mint in this. Creed does mint well. No mint here, but geranium does throw out. I see geranium in the note breakdown, which does throw out a minty accord. So that might be a null point. But I do see a lot of pink pepper, rosemary, sage, nutmeg. So there's a lot of piquant. This one had some piquant too, some spices. But this one seems very green and spicy, perhaps. We'll see. Obviously, there is mandarin, lemon, bergamot, so there is some citrus. And I'm expecting that because it's a cologne. What Creed is trying to do with these cologne versions of Aventus and this is kind of make them thinner, but still remain with the concentration that they have, the EDP. So let's unbox this thing. Voila. Released in 2021, so I'm only 3 years late. No big deal. Almost 4 years late if I wouldn't have done this in a couple months. Nose, I think they've, you know, always a surprise with Creed. I think they attached Irwin to this one, I think. Doesn't really matter, honestly. So let's delve into it. Let's smell this one. Obviously already primed, so I'm expecting that. These Creed atomizers are awesome. That's one thing I will give them props for. So we're going to put it on this, of course, the strip, and then I'll put it on skin as my scent of the day. So let's sniff this one out. Early impressions. Smells like a variation of Viking. So flankered, yes. It has that green, spicy thing going on. More herbal, personally, than this one, from what I see. Of course, it's got the citruses popping a little bit. More mandarin and lemon. Like lemon is more prominent than mandarin. So I would say lemon, #1, mandarin, #2, bergamot, #3. So it has that. So it does have some uplifting factors, which I expected. The lavender in here is very much pronounced. So it smells like an aromatic fougere to me. Just starting out. It smells like a Viking flanker, watered down, right? A little more watery. Some small nuances, changing the introduction a little bit. More herbs here than I think in this one. This was more mint forward personally. But it does retain that classical feel of Viking. Viking here felt more like a modern classical take. I liked it. It retains that classical style, and it's not going to be for everybody. It's not a people pleaser like Aventus. You know how the kids say, what is it? Mass appealing, that word. Let's say that. This is not a mass appealing. Aventus is more that mass appealing. This is more, I don't know. I feel like a well-groomed man in his 40s wearing this stuff, you know, good haircut, good hygiene, wearing a suit, wearing this. Mass appealing, yeah. You got your stuff going on, right? You got a good job, you got a nice car, you got a house, good family, you know, that kind of stuff. That matters. The scent just helps the idea. And for the right person, this thing is mass appealing. That's why mass appealing and sexy, those words that fragrance reviewers say, have no, what do you call it? You can't grasp it, right? I'd rather be a technical fragrance reviewer and tell you, oh, the rosemary in here is a lot more pronounced than it would be in blah, blah, blah. I like being who I am, honestly. I would not, I'd punch myself in the face if I kept saying this is sexy. What does that even mean? Okay, so it retains that classical style that I actually love from it. It's clean, it's got the citruses punching up. They're well done. Lemon, of course, leading the way. So lemon leading the way sometimes makes things feel it's more dated or older than it is. It's not a sexy note in the citrus game right now. Modern-wise, bergamot is that sexy note. Mandarin does give it a little bit of that sweetness of that citrus. It's got a little bit of that pink pepper going on. Let's put it on skin. Scent of the day. And that might have been overspraying because these Creed atomizers are definitely tough. They're strong. Built like a Mack truck. Yeah, so yeah, that classical style. Clean, citrusy come in. They're not super thin, but they're there. It has a little bit of that pink pepper, a little bit of that je ne sais quoi, a little bit of a piquant, which I like to say, a little bit of peppery kick. Lavender does its thing here. I think that is going to be more of a major player. So it has that barbershop type appeal, aromatic Fujiata type of appeal. The herbs are coming through as well. Yeah, and a little bit of vetiver too. So you're getting a little bit of that. There's a lot of woods in the back end, and there is incense too. I'm not incensing any of that stuff, but the vetiver is the one that's standing out, that's giving it a little bit of a woody aspect. Really nice release from Creed. Redundant, it's, you know, as a reviewer, you know, I gotta be mindful saying redundant. I feel like personally, for me, I would gravitate towards more this one because it has the original Viking, because it has a little more color to it, a little more depth to it, a little more oomph to it. And especially for this price point, these are things that I look into. I don't mind a thin Creed fragrance, right? I'll pay, and you might call me crazy, but Millésime Impérial, Virgin Island Water, I will pay that money. They're thin fragrances and they're really great. This doesn't have that wow factor. Like, it's almost like a Viking Cologne, actually. Kind of reminding me of that a really good designer can do this. I don't see the wow factor in here. So a really nice release. I feel like the roundness of the original got snipped off kind of thing. Like it's a better all-around scent, the original Viking. And for the price point, personally, if you're asking me right now, obviously just off an unboxing, again, I haven't worn this, would you spend Creed prices? No. Would you spend discounter pricing on a Creed? They're still high. You're probably spending around $3. No, I would not. That's my honest point. And I feel like I'm starting to kind of, you know, a Viking Cologne kind of felt like a little bit like a, what did I compare it to? I think it was like a Chanel Allure, like Eau Extreme or something like that. This kind of reminds me of like a Terre d'Hermès because of the vetivers coming through in the Mandarin, you know, that orange pair with the vetiver. It makes you think Terre d'Hermès. It's definitely not Terre d'Hermès as far as if anybody's telling you this smells like it. But I can see the correlation. They're in the same family, but this thing is like a third cousin, if that makes sense. It is very far from that. I think this fragrance is for just a select few, I think. I think Viking Cologne would be just for certain people. I don't think this is going to be a big seller for them. Older gentlemen, yeah. Older taste, yeah. But it runs through the same theme, these two, and that's why they're correlated together. And I can see, as far as redundancy goes, I can see that. I prefer this one. It has more color, more depth, more oomph to it. I like that. Nothing wrong with thinning things out, but for the price point, I don't know, like it doesn't make it better. It makes it on par depending on what kind of taste you're in, I think. Signature scent worthy, 100%. Office friendly, 100%. And that is a high value for certain people. For me, the value of high versatility and office friendly is not as high for me because of the collection I have. And that's a fragrance reviewer. You kind of have to know your fragrance reviewer. But for me, versatility, for you, I'll say it in the review, that, you know, a lot of people go into niche fragrance shops for certain things. They want to spend big bucks. And if they don't have a lot of fragrances, they're probably going to look for one of two things. Either A, they're going to look for something that's versatile and then I can wear it in the office. I can wear it dressed up, dressed down, all that. I'm spending a lot of money. I'm going to use it. Then there's the other side of people that oh, I'm going to buy like one high-priced fragrance. Well, I kind of want it just for special occasions. I'm saying this thing would be worth for both, depending on your taste. But it's two sides of the coin. And I feel like this fragrance, as far as special occasions for me personally, this doesn't have the personality. It just doesn't. This would be one of those that I'll throw on. No, I'll never throw it on for a special occasion. Honestly, I want something with a little more vividness, more color, and there's nothing wrong with this fragrance. This is more, to me, versatile, office, non-offensive person that is well dressed up. You know, they're wearing suits, and this is the kind of scent profile they want from Creed. It's excellent for that. It smells like a modern Viking. It actually reminds me of a friend of mine. Guy's got a big beard. He is a Viking, basically. Built like a Mack truck, man. This guy's huge. And he's got a big beard, right? But this guy is into, he's not really into fragrances that much, but he's into shaving stuff. And even though he's got a big beard, he takes care of it. You know, he's into that kind of stuff. And he dresses well, too. This would be like perfect recommendation for this guy. I'd be, look, even the name fits you. Yeah, I could see a guy like that wearing this. So this thing is, it's okay. It's not, again, you know, I'm a fan of Creed. I'm more of a fan of old school Creed right now. I haven't smelt the new ones. I feel like I should get decants of them and let you know, like do a proper samples on both of those and just see what they're all about. But this one right here, price point hurts it. And I feel like the scent profile kind of hurts it too, as far as the value of it as a fragrance reviewer for me personally. Now, of course, I got this at fragflex.com. You can too, if you want. Creeds, yeah, discounters, you're gonna save. You're probably gonna save $100, maybe even more. You can use my code TFG10, you get 10% off. That's site-wide. It doesn't have to be Creed, it doesn't have to be Viking Cologne, it doesn't have to be anything at all. It can be just a small purchase, it can be a mega haul. Go ham with that code. Don't care. It's for you to utilize. Now, this thing right here, now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Good, bad, and the ugly. Again, I don't look for cosigns. You know, I'll high five you. Yeah, hey, yeah, we're cool. If you want to co-sign what I said, perfect. It's an initial impression. I'm not going to get hurt if somebody says, Mark, you're dead wrong about Viking Cologne. This thing is unique, beautiful. And you know what? For the right guy, I could see it. I really could. But for me as a fragrance reviewer, I got to call it spade a spade. Price tag hurts it. And the scent profile, as good as it is, it smells like a high-end designer, low-end niche. That's what it smells like. There's nothing here that's new. But, you know, the build is good. It smells well blended. It's giving me multiple facets. It smells like a Creed. Yeah. So there is some value to that, but not $300, $400, even $500 good. Not for me. Anyway, as always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your Creed release fragrance wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.